Meanwhile, I am telling you how you can use Paizo. So if you go to paizo.org, there's a quick start, and there are the steps that you have to follow. Install a Paizo IDE. So depending upon your platform, you can download for Windows, Mac OS, Linux. You can download it, and then you have to install it on your operating systems. If you're a Windows user, then you may know how to. Likely Mac user, you guys need to know how you can install new packages on your Mac. For Mac, there may be a little bit of security reasons because Paizo is not something that Apple can trust. Apple usually does not trust any third-party products. So initially, you have to trust it. You can tell your computer, "Hey, trust it." Then it can be installed. Once you install it, then you can start that Paizo. So I'm going to bring up the Paizo here. Paizo goes somewhere. So this is a Paizo. What we want on Paizo, if you see on top, each one of these tab is a program. These are the programs. Okay. Click that on. Yeah, this is currently no file names, not saved, therefore temporary. If you see the label of the tab, then you can see that a little bit. So this side is the editor, and right-hand side, this is the command. So on this command line, you can do, for example, as it said, 3 plus 4, then it returns 7. So 5 divided by 2, then I would say 3, then it gives me 1.6666, right? But if you want to see what is the remainder, if I divide 5 by 3, then 2 is the remainder, right? If I divide 5 by 4, then 1 will be remained. If I divide 5 by 5, then no remainder, right? Something like that. So percent sign is very, very important in as you do the codings. There is a so-called hash, right? You guys speak about the hash much, particularly in security. Then hash can be obtained by hash code can be obtained by the manipulations of percent sign, for example. Okay, any big numbers. If I want to get, for example, 7, then the percent sign gives me any number between 0 and 6, right? It doesn't matter here. Dividend. So number depend on the divider, right? Something like this. But anyway, so this is a command line. At very first time, yeah, even if you yeah, here, yeah, Python needs to be downloaded. So I want you to download the Python, regular Python. By clicking this, then it goes to regular Python. You can download it. And also there is a Anaconda. This is a real big, like snakes. It's a big environment. So Anaconda can include Python as well. Sometimes we can use Python that comes with Anaconda. Then it at some points you can make your coding life easier rather than working on regular Python, native Pythons. Well, there is also Miniconda. But this Python, regular Python, is a must in this class, okay? So you guys have Python first, and Python. Then you are ready to use this. This is the editor. When you go here, shells, one of the top menu on this shell pane, then tab, I think it says something, shell maybe. If you click this, then two options, edit shell configuration or new shells. New shell, name new shell may mislead you, but I would say choose a shell. That is the second one. When you edit the shell configuration, you may include multiple different versions of shell, the Pythons. So if I click this, thank you, Bora. So we'll get back to Colab, okay? I need to complete this Python first. As you see here, I have multiple Pythons, right? You can make new ones. Then you have new ones. And you can name it. New Python. Okay? And then if you download and install your Python successfully, when you click this exe, then it gives you all of the list of all the Pythons available on your system. So you need to find out, hey, I want to use it, the version 3.12 or the two different versions, 3.11, 3.10, 3.9, 3.9.12, 3.9.6, 3.9.0, whichever that you want. You have to click that, one of those, and then you can save it. Done. I'm going to go back to delete this. If you want to delete, then you can delete it. You can click that tab all the way bottom. There is a delete. So you can delete it. That is what I have right now. So once you have the Python, the right version for you, then you can come here to the second option in the menu. And then you may be able to see which ones that you want to use. Okay. So one of them, let's say I want to use Python 1, then that is Python 3.10.4. Okay, that is my Python. Because I have a Python right now, I may come back here. For example, there's no code. For example, this is the code that I want to submit. Then you can copy and paste here. Okay. And this is homework 1. And then you have another one paste. Homework 2, no. The question 1, question 2, question 3. I want you to put all the questions on your Python. if you look at this tab, still the red mark, which means this one is not saved yet. So you have to save this. Maybe here there is a save, right? You can save this. Then it asks you to where you want to save. So in my case, 505, and in class, Spring 24, and then I can say simply test. This is file name, but if you see here, the extension by default, that is .py. Okay, so you don't need to do anything. Simply name it and save it. Okay, so later if you want to go to that file, then in class 24, then I have your test py. This one should be submitted. Okay, so this is Paizo. I hope you guys can follow this. If you have any other IDE that can save in plain text, that'll be fine. But if it cannot be evaluated because of the file formats, then that is your responsibility, right? I do not know which ones that you are using, right? But I suggested the one that I ask you to do. So once you have this, then there is a lab 1 description. This is first class of Pythons. So we'll look at part 1 basic. The next one, data types, which will come next week, right? And then goal of this is help you are able to load values on variables. As I explained, if you want to compute the values on your computer, then value should be loaded, and also should be used it. If you want to use a value, then you have to hold that value, right? So here you have value. Then you have some name that can hold this, so that in your codings, you can manipulate with these variables, labels, not the value itself. Not the way that you do, for example, here Paizo 4 times 7. We don't do this hard-coded number. We usually A equals 4, B equals 7. Then what is A? Variable A holds number 4. Variable B holds number 7. So what I will do with those two numbers, I need to play with the labels, so that A times B, then it gives me 28. A divided by B, then it gives me 0.5 whatever. Okay, B divided by A, on the other hand, if I switch that, then 1.75, and B percent A, then it gives me 3, and then I can do A times B plus A minus B plus A percent B. That can be done also, right? So rather than using these hard-coded things, once I load this number 4 on the system, therefore that value can be held by this label A. This label is called the variable. Same thing here, 7, that is held by B. So after you do this, then we play with the A and B only, like this. That is what we do here. There's a cheat sheet that I linked here. If you click this Python basic, click this, then you need an access. Oh, is that right? This is not my data. Interesting. So if I get that link, oh, this is a Colab link, maybe. This is not really, okay. I'll change this. How can I change? If you double click this, then there is a, oh, this is a Google Docs of somebody's. That should be, I think I need to do Google, no, not Google, Python basic. So if I take that and change it here, and save it, click this. Yeah, this is better. You can look at that basics. And then this is, the Google Colab has two documents, consists of two documents. As you see here, the code or text. If you do text, then you can make text. If you do code, then you can make a code like this. So if you click the code on here, you can do, for example, A equals 3, B equals, let's say, 7, C equals John, and D equals Cyber. As I type this, you may be able to see, if there is a number, then I don't do anything. But if there is some literal, then I put the quote. What that means is that, and also equal sign is assignment. So if I say here, pound sign is not evaluated, which is a comment. So the symbol equal means to assign left to the right, from left to the right. So this equal sign here means the, no, backward, right to the left. The right hand side is a 3. So 3 needs to be assigned to A. Therefore, when I do A and execute this, this is the button to execute, then it shows to me A, because I said A. I didn't do anything, but if I say A, then evaluate A. So it gives me 3 only, because A holds 3. This statements, A equals 3. The evaluation is to do this operator, equal sign. What is the equal sign? The right hand side should be assigned to left hand side. So right hand side, number 3, that is already known value. So that is assigned to A. Okay, so A is, as you can see here, 3. 7 is assigned to B. So if I do another B here, then you may be able to see 7 only. A sequence of statements here, if you didn't do, for example, print statements, then by default, it can display only the result of the last statement's evaluations. So B is evaluated to be 7 because B holds 7, as you can see here, 7, right? But if you say John is assigned to C, and if you evaluate this, then you have an error. It says this statement is an error. The error message here, John is not defined. 3 is not defined. Of course, it is not defined, but it is already known. This is an actual value. This is an integer. Integer is known. But JOHN is not known by this computer, right? So it complains, I do not know JOHN. But if you see here, JOHN is nothing but number 9, then it'll be okay. There's no complaint, right? A holds 3, B holds 7, John holds 9. So John is known here. John is nothing but 9. Therefore, C is also 9, right? In order to know that, now we can use a built-in function called print. If we use print, then print, I want to print A. I want to print A. Then you can print here, A. I want to also print John. Then it gives me, what is John? John is a variable that I defined. John is nothing but 9. John, this is a variable, holds 9. Okay, if we want to print not only A but B also, A comma B, because print is a print function is an array function. Print is an array function. What that means is that parameter should be not only one, not unary function, not binary function. It could have more. C, A comma B comma C. That also works. If I run this, this print step, I have 2 print statements, so that I have 2 prints here. First print comes from this. A is 3, B is 7, C is 7. C is 9. If you come back here, the code, A holds 3, B holds 7, C holds John, which then holds number 9. So therefore, 9 is printed. Similar way, if you want to print cyber here, same cyber here, right? But if I click this, then I have an error. Here, this points error. Cyber is not defined. Cyber is not defined. If you see the left-hand side here, there's no variable called cyber. There's a variable called John. Therefore, we can see that variable here on the right side. But cyber is not defined here, right? But if you want to print cyber here, cybersecurity, with like this quote, if we do have a quote, if we have a quote with whatever inside, that is a string. So this is a string. If you say string, then it is known, right? If I say, rather than some symbol, rather than a variable, which is not defined, but if I say quote and unquote, then that itself is a value. It's not something that variable holds something else. Then we have to evaluate that symbol to find out what values contained in. But if we say quote and unquote, this indicates, hey, this itself is a value. It's not variable. If it is a value like this, then it can be printed. So that cybersecurity is printed. So if we put here D and execute it, then D comes from this variable which holds cyber. So in the last print statements displays cyber first, comma, and then this is value itself. D is a variable, this is a value. Clear? Anyone has any? So next one is my name is a variable here. John is a data value. So this data, right hand side, is assigned to left hand side. So my name is, my name holds that value. So how to use this variable, my name? How to use? The way that you use, like this, print statements. Or you can say, print my name. This is a value itself, string, right? This string is echoed. If you do this, I have to do this first because my name here is not known, right? If I execute this, therefore my name is loaded, then I can use it. No problem, right? So this double quote here, there's a string, so it is echoed as is. Comma, this is the first parameter to this print function. Second parameter is my name, which should be evaluated. So go back to see it is loaded. So my name is loaded in the previous code segment. Entire this can understand. This guy can understand above. This can understand above. So segment by segment can all together works here in Colab. So this is a very good tool for you guys can practice. Okay. So this done. So we'll look at the basic. The function that I ask you to know, there is a multiple built-in functions available, like input or integer. As we practiced here, print is a built-in function. It can bring multiples here. As you do there, if you say f equals, I want to bring everything here. Oh, this is something that I want to explain this. There's a format. Remember that this is a string, right? This is end of that string. Like this. Rather than having comma followed by another parameter, this guy has something attached to the previous by dot notation. Dot notation. If you have something followed by dot, followed by a function, then this function is associated with this previous. I know it is not clear to you guys, right? But this is a function. Our question is, how come this function can be used? How come this function is available for us to use? What this string can do so that this function is available. Therefore, we can use this function by attaching it using dot notation. As I said, anything here in quote is called string, right? So here my text guide you to understand about format function refer to this. Let's see if I click this. Well, this gives you some of the format methods. This format method comes with a string. So we call that string format methods. String format methods. Okay. Like here, this is a string that is assigned to this variable txt. So this is a txt. This txt is nothing but this, right? When we evaluate this txt, that holds this string. So this is nothing but string. As we do where is it? Oh, it's the same here. As we did here, right? This is a string. Exact same thing here, string. Followed by dot, followed by function format. Exact same ones here. This is a string, followed by dot, followed by formats. So definition here, format methods formats the specified value and insert them inside the string placeholder. Okay? So this format function takes this parameter and insert into the string's placeholder. If you see here, my name is curly brace, open and close. This is the placeholder. So So this value is inserted into this placeholder. As you see here, this is the third print statement. First print, second print, and third. Third print statement says my name is placeholder, and then ending with the dot. This dot comes from here within that string. Okay, if you want to make a dot here, then you have to make another one here and dot. This is the first parameter. So this is my name is the second parameter, so John. Dot is the third parameter, so this. If you see this, looks a little bit awkward, right? Dot, this is period, ending, this indicates the ending of, and the end of that statements, that sentence. But there is a space also here if we follow this. To avoid that, that's part of the reason, right? It's not all, a lot more capabilities of using formats. But if you do format here, then you can nicely say my name, one space, is one space, and placeholder, which can eventually have the value that is given from this format function ending with the dot. If you see a dot and this curly braces, there is no space in between. Therefore, we see this dot and this value, there is no space in between. Right? So we already know those two built-in functions, right? I can say here so we already know print and formats. Somebody already noticed that why I have back quote here and there. That means the font face of all others here, that is a regular font. But if I do print, then that is language itself, right? So I put that quotes, like here, int and input and int. So I said there are many of those built-in functions already given to you. So we don't need to implement this. We simply use it, right? How can you use it? If you want to use it, you need to look up the help. See here in Paizo, if you type here help, then this prompt is Python prompt. This is help prompt. In this help prompt, if you say, I'm not sure if it works. It's not working, right? But if you see stl string, then you can see multiple of the functions available with that string. I'm going to point out some of those. This string is very, very strong type that you can see here. These are the functions also called methods comes with a string. Therefore, somewhere there you may have format. As you see here, there is a format, right? So we have a format functions. You can use S is a string dot format. This is the type that you can use, followed by multiple arguments, star arguments. Then you can this that you can see later. This is an arbitrary number of arguments. That's what we mean star. If we have a double star arguments, it means anything that you can put that as a key and value pair arguments. It's so-called dictionaries. Dictionary is one of the types, data type that we are going to learn next week. So this is a double star. The Python has one star or double star or no star, only the name itself in this format of functions. If you do this, it returns a formatted version of string. So this string is not just a string, formatted version. How it was formatted? First of all, this argument is inserted into the placeholder using substitution. That's what I'm saying here, right? Using substitution from args and this. This can be inserted into. The substitutions are identified by braces. So curly braces, that is the placeholder. That's what we did exactly, right? That's what we did here. So we have braces, and this guy went in that, right? Another benefit from this format is, let's say if we have dividend is let's say 5, divider is 3. I want to print divider, and if I want to execute it, dividend, then I have 1.666 this, right? But if I use this in format of the placeholder dot format, I'm going to use a format function, then same thing like this. But if I say this placeholder, I want to have only 2 decimal places. In this placeholder, I can make this string in specific format. If it is this repetitive numbers, I want to allow only 2 decimal places. If we do that, then it gives me 1.67, right? Which is very nice. That is the beauty of this function as well. Not only insertions into placeholder, but also this computation is inserted into these curly braces, but in these specific formats. If it is floating points, I want to allow only 2 decimal points. If you want to say, hey, I want to have 3 decimal points, that is also possible, right? 3 decimal points. or 5 decimal points, like this. There's beauty of that functions. So now we have input and int functions. Give me 1 second. Let me close the doors. Another noises from outside. Okay. Okay. So int is one of the functions. Int. So int is no. Before we do int, I want to do input only. Okay. So if what is this? This is equal sign. So assignment. Right hand side should be assigned to this left hand side, so that I can print years in integer. I can print that, right? This right hand side should be evaluated, and the result of this evaluation should be assigned to left hand side, so that whatever this left hand side variable holds, that will be printed in the second print statement here. So let's look at this. How do we do this? What is this? This is nothing but function. Int is a function, and open and close a parenthesis. Inside this is a string, entire, right? Quote and unquote. It says enter the years of work experience in integer. We can say that. Okay, this is a string. Entire of this is a string. So this input function takes one parameter, right? See what happens. So if we click this, then it says enter the years of work experience in integer, colon, and 1 space. So that we have 1 space. And it waits. This is text field. So if I say 5 and hit enter, soon as I hit whatever I typed here, that is the value that goes to this years of this variable, and that variable is printed. So if I enter 5, then it says it print 5, right? If I redo, it print Mercy University, right? It doesn't do yet. This is a real number, right? In order to convert this user entered, I want to put here as a whole. This is one parameter. To practice that, we can do this. I want to practice here one above. So integer 3, and I evaluate, then of course that is 3. Integer 3, that is also 3. I want to put look at this. Right hand side, there's an int 3. Remember that before I assigned this, it gives us a 3, right? So already int. See these two, the difference of these two? This 3 is value 3. What is this 3? This 3 is in string because we have quote and unquote, right? It looks like value, but at this moment, string. Okay. So if I do this, if I do have int, then it can be printed. Let's say if we do not have this int itself, what happens? And evaluate, then looks like this is a 3, but this is not really 3. Why? Because if we have here 3 times 2 and execute it, 3 times 2, this 3 is value 3. So times 2, so it gives us a 6. If I do same thing here, times 2, see what happens. If I say 2 here, it gives me 3, 3. What does that mean? This means that you can see here string times 2, then that string is doubled. It displays that many times. Same thing here, number 3 is displayed 2 times. Therefore, this is 33. This is not 33, but you can say 3, 3. This is not 30. This is not 2 decimals. Only character 3 and character 3. This guy, that is a value. Okay? So if we put here, even for the, say, number 10 and times 10, what happens? I want to ask you. This highlighted print statements, what does it display? Can anyone say? Bora? Dylan? No one? Are you guys there?
The first one should just print out 60.
All right. What about the second ones?
The second one shouldn't work because it sees it as a string and not an integer.
How many times? 10 times. 10 times over 3, 3.
Oh, okay.
10 times over 3, 3. Okay. So, see the difference? This is not, this number 2 works. What if I do, see here, this is a better statement. If I do divide here, first one works. If I do divide, right? If I do here, divide by 2 times 10, then I have an error because I cannot divide the string by 2. There's no way that I can divide by 2. Only this works with the string. Plus sign, even not. Only times is because string times number, then it repeats that much. This concept, is this concept common to all other languages? No, this is only here in Python. If you are working on Java, doesn't allow it, right? So plus 2, even not this doesn't make sense, right? If I do plus 2 here, this doesn't make sense. John, this doesn't make sense. Remember that here, pound sign, therefore this is not evaluated, like a comment. All right? So back here, here, enter the years of work experience. So far, good. If I want to say here, the wage of the employee is computed as follows. The wage is wage rate times years in integer, like this. So, oops. So in this code, I want to use this exact same one here. Okay. So what I did here, I execute this so that if I say 3 years, then currently years in integer variable holds number 3. At this point, years in integer, okay. This is something that this Colab gives us. This IDE gives us a little bit of the underline here already give us a warning sign. So let's say, because that is not defined, right? If we do here, of course it says wage rate is not defined. So we have to define it first. So wage rate, that should be defined. So what is the wages? Oh, this is, we should say hours. Hours in integer. How many hours? So we say here hours. So we won't compute how many hours. So what is the hourly rate right now?
I like 15 right now.
Is it the New York rate?
Yeah.
15, okay. Probably California, Newsom suggested 50 few days ago, right? 50.
I thought
Therefore,
50.
some restaurant owners raised that issue. We cannot hire any cook, any waiters or waitress if we pay 50 hourly. We cannot run our business, restaurant business. I don't know. I agree with them. So 1.5 is reasonable. So 1.5. If I say 1.5, then what happens? Hourly, not defined. Hours in hour. What is hours? Oh, I have to hours in integer. Let's define this first. So 3, and then I do this. Right. Because these two code segments goes together. So if I here print which, then I know this is the issue, right? That's what I want to say here. Somewhere here, right? 3, 3, 3, 3. 3 hours worked. Wage rate is $15. So my wage, I worked only 3 hours. My earning is, wow. What is? If we code recklessly, then this may happen. This is thousands. This is millions. This is a billion. It's trillion. $333 trillion. I love this, right? Work 3 hours. I have no problem. I have no problem with three generations of my descendant, or 4 generations, maybe 10 generations. Nonsense right here. So what should we do? This number is not integer number, right? What happens? If we type anything from your keyboard, we call that standard input. It's not anything you typed on the keyboard, but as is, that is a string. Like if you see the keyboard on your keyboard, look at the keyboard. There's a Q, W, E, R, T, Y, U, I, O, P, and then brackets, and the vertical bar or backslash. If you look above, then there's a number keys, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 0, minus, plus, something like that. Your keyboard is not important. Intelligent. Keyboard, this is hardware. So it gives you the same signal to your computer. This is a keyboard. The keyboard gives you if you click any button there, equally the same. What that means is they are all received in initially quote string. Received in quote string. Therefore, this 3 is repeated that many times. In order to convert to that, then you have to put everything into this integer function. If we click this, then you see the same 3, but this 3 is integer 3 because we put that integer function. Remember that previously I said the integer quote and unquote to 3. That's also 3, right? This whatever you type here, that is the quote 3, now converted to integer. Now this is integer. Therefore, if you execute this very nicely, it is not anymore $330 trillion, but $45. Sad to us, but anyway, this is the correct result. Any question? So this is the way that you can understand 2 functions, input and integer, right? There are many such functions available. So we already did. Please, how can we print this? Given 3 and 7, how can we print this exact same as this? Here's what you need to do. You need to do within double quote, and then you use a format. Okay? So somewhere here we have a plus operator, plus, and then equal. This is extra. Something plus something equals something, right? In this something, we need to put placeholder and another placeholder. If you do not want to put any space among those operand and operator, then you need to stick them together. But there is a space, so we have a space here, and then there's another space, followed by the result of that additions. So we have 3 placeholders. Nicely that we can have this. Now we can simply put the parameter in this order. So we can put, instead of 3, we can put A, next one B, and third one A plus B, and execute it. Then very nicely. Oh, this is 4. So 4. Okay, so 3 plus 4 space equals space 7. This is the statements that you can have. Okay. If you simply do, for example, A plus B equal A plus B. The first one, this print statements receives multiple parameters. This guy receives one parameter, right? Doesn't matter. This is okay. Multiple parameters. A, comma, I didn't put any space. Quote plus quote, comma, immediately, followed by immediate B, followed by comma, and all of this. Still I have A space plus space 4 plus equal play space 7. I wanted to see the difference. So you have to practice. Only if you can practice, then you can to improve formats. That's what I already had here, right? We got that formats here. Okay, we have homeworks. 2 homeworks this time. Okay. Take the name of the user and greet to the users. So you need to, for example, enter name. If I say John, then it returns when I say John, then it returns good to see you, John. Okay. I want you to do that in here code. Another codings, should not. Oh, did I show that already? I'm not sure. This is already given to you. Is it given? If it's given already, I'm not sure. Let's say, here's what I want to do. Let me bring it to something that I'm not sure if I want to make sure if I give it to you, the answer. Can you see this? Okay. Doesn't show it to you, right? All right, fine. This is a code. Take 2 number from the user. So enter a dividend, enter a divisor, then display in this way. So one time like this and another time using the formats like this. Okay, this is homework number. We already did this, right? Somewhere you can massage a little bit. So 2 questions is your homeworks. Any questions?
When we submit the homework, does it need to be our own file, or can we resubmit this file?
as I said, your own separate file. The file is just a plain text file, not not tied with any applications.
Okay.
Only plain text. Like if you remember that this is a Paizo. If
Mhm.
you copy and paste, if you save this, then when I show that, I think this is it. So if I open this in a text edits, then I can see it. This is simply text. Or I can see on the terminal. If I type simply, if I do test.py, then I can see it.
Okay.
This is plain text, therefore I can see here in the Linux command cat, right? Those who knows Linux. That's what I want, right? This file should contains only all the right now we have two problems, right? So two problems, both problems in one file. So when I execute that file, I can see your result quickly. Any other questions? All right.
Nope.
Yeah, this is it. So from next week, we'll do a little fast pace. Today is first week of coding, so for those who are first in coding in his or her life, then I don't want to make them frustrated. So, but next week, a little faster and faster and faster, as class goes. All right. Have a good rest of the day, and I will see you next week.
Thank you, Pastor. Have a great week.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.